Good evening from Wimbledon and from myself and Steve Flink of tennischannel.com. Well, Steve, we spent almost the whole fortnight talking about the young generation upcoming, and then what happens? We have a final with two players who belong to the Fab Four, the famous, Federer and Djokovic.
Absolutely. I mean, let's start with Federer. He was able to erase Milos Raonic remarkably easy, 4-4 and 4. It was never really challenged. He broke serve in the first game of the match. He broke again at 4-all in the second, 4-all in the third. Rarely troubled on his own serve. He played a first-rate match. In turn, Raonic was very disappointing. His ground game looked ragged. He didn't serve well when he needed to, and he looked as if he really didn't believe he could win after getting broken in that opening game of the match. That seemed to sort of shatter his self-belief. So that was disappointing. But the other match, Ubaldo, was much more fun, the Dimitrov match against Djokovic.
Yes, just one word more on the Federer's Raonic. Raonic had only one break point in the whole match. And then I checked, and I saw that in 8 sets that they had played together, one versus the other, in the past, Raonic had been able to break Federer only once. So this explains something.
It does, no, absolutely, but it doesn't explain why he can't hold his own serve on a grass court when he's only been broken, twice the whole tournament. And to go out and lose your serve in the opening game, then that's bad enough. But 4-all second set, 4-all third set, when you got a chance to maybe hold twice, get to a tiebreak, which is your only chance to win. He didn't give himself that chance. I thought that was disappointing.
Yeah, it was clever by Federer, who won the draw at the beginning of the match, to decide to return.
Yes, it was.
Because Raonic, for the first time in a semifinal of a big event, Wimbledon, he was nervous and he lost the serve, and that was it.
When it was 30-all in that opening game, he took a deep, deep breath after missing the first serve round. It took a long time to hit the second serve and then double faulted. And you could sense his tension, and I'm sure Federer could too.
Sure, so that was the experience. The experience, difference in experience.
And the other one also came down to experience, don't you think, in a different way?
Yeah, well, in a different way, because first of all, I must say that the match, sometimes it was really spectacular, because Dimitrov played some unbelievable shots. And also Djokovic was very able, they started Djokovic with 19 first serve in. First 19 times
he served beautifully in the first set, and he got the one break he needed. It was a one errant forehand volley, easy forehand volley from Dimitrov. On the first point on his serve, he lost that game, went down 3-2 there, and Djokovic was holding comfortably through that first set, and largely because of the first serves that you mentioned. Then he goes up 3-1 in the second set and has a break point for 4-1. Dimitrov erases that with an ace.
Correct.
And Djokovic loses 5 straight games. I didn't quite understand that. The Dimitrov played well, but I thought Djokovic kind of went away for a while, and then we had a great third set.
Yes. It was a great third set because they both were playing well.
Djokovic started to come into the net so much. Some people might have thought it was desperate. Whatever it was a good tactic. And for the most part, he was rewarded for his efforts, and I think he won a lot of crucial points by going forward.
Yes, because at the same time, he wasn't winning enough when he was staying back from the baseline. The only winning points for him were most of the time the serves. But then when
early
there was a rally, it's not.
That's true. But early on, he was getting the better of him forehand to forehand. Then that stopped. And also the other thing that happened was Dimitrov seemed to start getting more returns back into play, and that seemed to throw Djokovic off. And it was very interesting the way the momentum shifts we had in that match. Again in the fourth set, because Djokovic had the early break after Dimitrov served 3 straight doubles and got broken at love. And then he breaks right back on Djokovic, and the next thing you know, it's a dogfight the rest of the set. Djokovic fights off a set point on his serve late at 4-5, and then he was down 3-6 in the tiebreak and came all the way back to win it.
It's perfect. The reconstruction, can I say, of the story that you made. It's exactly what happened.
I didn't even have to even look at your brilliant notebook to do that.
But I just want to add to that on the tiebreaker of the third set, Dimitrov played very poorly.
I totally agree. I know he gave it away.
A disaster.
It was. And Djokovic just made sure to keep the ball in play. That's all he had to do.
7 points to 2 in that tiebreaker.
Right.
While the final tiebreaker was very exciting. You said that he was 6-3 up, no?
No, I'm saying
Dimitrov was 6-3 up,
right,
yeah?
right.
In the fourth tiebreaker, in the tiebreaker of the fourth set, and what happened? That Dimitrov, okay, he can lose the first 2 points because it's Djokovic serving.
Right.
But then when he has to serve, he should try to put the first serve in.
I think he was hoping, you're right, and I agree with you. I think he just hoped he could hit a big serve and just get to the changeover. Instead of saying, I go for 120 and make sure I get it in.
Yeah, which would have been better since he was more or less, winning the most points from the baseline. So he didn't need to make an ace or a winning serve immediately. He could have served 3/4 of speed.
But then Djokovic came forward again. He played a good point, got up to the net again. I give him a lot of credit for that. Then the strange thing was when Djokovic had his first match point,
and he
served and volleyed.
124
mile an hour first. So I think he thought the serve was going to be big enough to give him an easy volley, but it was not that easy a volley.
Well, not for him.
Not for him.
He's not Becker. He's not Boris Becker. He's a coach like Boris Becker. But when he is at the net, Djokovic, he still has a space for improvement.
I totally agree with you. But then he did get it done on his next match point, so good for him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, we will have this great final, I hope, between these two players.
And what do you think? You tell me your thought, right? If you had to pick the winner right now, Federer or Djokovic, based on just your gut instinct today.
Well, it's tough because they have different opponents. I think Raonic was today below par. I mean, he was
right. I agree.
And so, I mean, for Federer it was quite easy.
Yes,
and so
it was.
It makes any prediction more difficult. What I think is funny, in a way, is that Djokovic and Federer played only one final in the slams in 2007, because all the other times they played in semifinals.
Yes.
The most memorable match at Roland Garros, Federer beating Djokovic in 2011.
Right, and here. And then another one at Roland Garros, you're right. Another one in Australia.
And then at the US Open with match point.
Right, 2 years in a row, Two US Open. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, always in semifinals. But
it shouldn't be that way necessarily.
No.
And so it is nice in a sense that two great players like Djokovic with his 6 majors, like Federer with his 17 majors, that they could play for a title on Sunday.
Yeah, and this will be the first final in the last 19 Slam without neither Nadal or Murray. I mean, who by chance they never played one against the other. So there's a lot of strange numbers and facts. Anyway,
but as you said at the outset, it is the two old guard players that are meeting for the thing. In a strange way, it's maybe it's a good thing, and I think people will enjoy them in the final on Sunday, and I think we're going to see Djokovic elevate his game again and Federer stay at a high level. If that happens, we're going to have a great final on Sunday.
Okay, so let's hope then tomorrow we have also good ladies final. What do you think?
I think we will, and I think that the Canadian girl, Bouchard, will win the title over Kvitova. That's my guess.
It's also my guess, which means that probably Kvitova will win.
Most likely.
Okay. Well, it's everything for tonight. Thanks a lot, and bye-bye from Wimbledon. See you tomorrow.